Hello, YouTube. If you're watching, this is my 8th part of my new novel series, The Archimediae Genesis. If you haven't watched parts 1 through 7, links are up over here. Anyways, if you're noticing that the lights are on or everything, it's because I'm actually working very late in the night because of some technical difficulties with my editor and because there's a lot of sound. And also sorry I couldn't post yesterday since I had an online tournament. So thanks for understanding. Anyways, enjoy. Thanks. The Archimediae Genesis, Chapter 13. Caspian. We arrive at the tether port in around half an hour. The roads, as we see on TV each year, are swarmed with protesters, some of them raising signs and repeatedly chanting over and over again. No Sast. As soon as we approach the gates, the van rolls up, screeching its presence. 2 men in PPF uniforms jump out and run to our car. "Come on," the PND on the right barks. "Get in before you're killed by those idiots." I glance at my parents to say goodbye, but the 2 PNDs ram the door open and grab me before I can say anything. They drop me into the back of the van onto a seat, already jam-packed with kids. I stare out the meshed window, catching a glimpse of Dad's watery eyes. He never cries. I collapse the handle and tug the suitcase close to my chest, trying to feel comfort, any comfort in my heart. The van starts again, and the PND sitting in front of us, staring at us behind that dark, unflinching helmet, grunts. I glance around. The rest of the kids are silent, their eyes drooped. Others have a spark of excitement in their eyes, contrary to the drooped, bagged faces of others, probably from studying too much. I turn around and try to look through the obscured windows. The protesters have rocks now, and they throw them at our van with a white-hot fury. The van seems immune though, as if shrugging off those small thuds like they crush ants. The bus grinds to a halt, and the back doors fling open. Another kid, scrawny and small, is dumped into the back. This time, the PNDs have a shield. "Alright," says the PND into his radio. "That's the last one. Initiate." Roger that, the other side answers. Initiate? The shouted yells of the protesters suddenly morph into screams as black suits emerge from the ground. The thud as one body falls, and then another. A sob wails out from one of the kids. "Shut the windows now!" The PND watching us yells. A bang sound and a whirring noise lowers metal plates in front of the windows, silencing the whir and the darkness. A small dim red light flashes up at the roof of the van, illuminating us into the blur of the dark. But that doesn't mean we can't hear them. Bloody, raw screams scratch out from them as they're shot mercilessly. The sound cuts off, fading into a shrieking, high-pitched sound. Who knew that silence could be so loud? Chapter 14. Mira. The arm blocks my mouth, forcing me to taste the bitter plastic now sitting on my tongue. I shake my head, but the person has too strong of a hold. "All units to Sector 11. I repeat, all units to Sector 11. Crud. He snatches my wrists and pins them behind me, his rough hand scratching mine. A stinking rope binds itself around my wrist, unleashing a red-hot pain. I scream into the hard plastic, ramming my head back. He lets out a grunt as he's thrown backwards, caught by surprise. I pull my wrists apart, throwing off the burning cuffs. He wheels towards me, in full PND uniform, obviously not buying the disguise. Gleaming light shines off of his shoulder pads, scratches obscuring his logo. My hand wanders towards my Mac, but I pause as a thought crawls to the front of my mind. A pause too long. I barely see it coming when he drops his full weight onto me. The breath is knocked out of my chest as a rush of air forces its way out of my lips. Breathless, We tussle on the ground, rolling on the floor, scrambling, reaching, grabbing for an advantage. I hear a scream from off of the upturned building, ripping me from this reality. Taking advantage, I feel my throat seize as black fingers grab them and lift them off of the ground. The ground, my friend and ally, gone from underneath me. Without the floor, I'm weightless, but a sinking feeling grounds to the bottom of my stomach as he drives me up into the wall, his knee pressed against my groin, burning a hole into me. My spine cracks in pain as the chair he's pressed me into pushes against it. My legs flail uselessly in the air as they try to make impact, but they only use up my non-existent breath. Handcuffs click around my wrists. More boots sound on the building as 3 more officers arrive. One of the officers carries a thick, round disc in his hand. No, I've seen those before. The PNDs use these on Mars. But the first disc isn't meant for me. The arriving PNDs escorts her to face me. Jordan. You can see the savage fear in her eyes, the tears welling up in defiance, but beneath it is all something darker. She spits out words into her harness, all of them coming out as desperate hums as she shakes her head violently. One of the officers, his shoulders decorated with bright orange stripes, juts the disc into Jordan's chest, the click of a button as it's activated. I hear the mechanical whirring as intricate needles extend out into her skin and flesh. She gasps in pain, but in the middle of her gasp, she freezes as if someone just paused the video. Long arms extend from the device, wrapping around her several times, little pads sticking them to her clothes. 3 beeps ring out. Beep, beep, beep. The device activates, unleashing what I can only describe as unbearable pain to Jordan. The memory of Mars flashes in my head, making bile rise in my stomach. My mouth burns, unleashing the orange memory. An orange room flashes in my head. My back is pinned to the wall again, several strands securing me. A hazy face places the disc onto my chest. Small pricks puncture it, sending a shiver up my spine. Suddenly, everything amplifies 1,000 times. The soft sound of breathing turns into a high-pitched steam whistle. Heartbeats turn into a roaring noise in my ears, and the rooms turn into a sickly red. Faces become shadowy blobs. The touch of air turns into poison, scorching my skin and eyes and stinging me all over. My voice feels like screaming, but her screams finally bring me back to reality. The device seems to have released Jordan for now, but she's not Jordan anymore. Her eyes wander around the room every second, and foam sits at the edge of her lips. This is definitely not Mars. This never happened to me. Now tell us, say the PNDs who haven't talked to me until now. What? I spit out. The reason why you guys just, arrive in pods from space, are outside of the wall boundaries and are posing as PNDs. No, we're just... Another scream breaks from Jordan. They say they can move things with their minds. Novae. Tell us, what did they tell us in the initiation again? A sob. Disc her. No! I yell, bringing myself out of the trance. Ignoring me, one of the PNDs takes one of the discs and approaches me. I can explain. What? Pointing to point B. We are the Archimediae, I say. Come on, move. The PND in the middle seems to inhale, taking in what I just told him. This can capture her, he says, seeming to have come to a decision. I'm getting tired of holding her. And load them both up into the boat. Time for plan B. I try to wriggle my wrist out of the handcuffs, reaching for the secret pocket in my pants. The burning cords of the cuffs sting my wrists. I hiss in pain, biting my tongue. What was that? The PND in front of me says as he tilts his head curiously. Almost there. The PND holding the disc stops. Come on, answer me, he says, tempting, luring me into an answer. My finger strains as nails poke out into the pocket. He turns to the PND with the disc. Well, what are you waiting for? It's you. He gestures to me. Answer me. I defiantly shake my head. Yes! The pocket opens. The disc is just a few inches from my chest. 2 fingers grab the key. 1 inch, maybe. Time moves in slow motion. Fingers curl back as they enter the key into the handcuff lock, my hands and feet preparing for a fight. Nothing. I cry out in alarm, squinting my face to stop the pain from escaping my mouth. My wrist stings, vibrates as if there are millions of tiny hearts packed into it. False key detected. The PND pinning me laughs. Thought we didn't update our handcuffs? My chest bleeds in defiance as the weight of the disc presses on my chest. Click.